I will give just a brief 10-second countdown to let our friends downstairs fire up the last couple of toggles, switches, and cameras, and then we will get started. So I will officially call the Special Town Board work session to order at 6:02 p.m. Tonight we have an abridged agenda. This is a follow-up from our previous meeting, the end of September. The board asked if we would come back and have a little bit more time to take a look at the proposals that were submitted. I'll officially call the meeting to order. We do not have any minutes to report out tonight. Those minutes will be at the next scheduled work session. There are no public hearings. There are no guests. We do have one item identified as an action item, and it's the RFP for Shadow Pines Conceptual Master Plan. And board, we did speak of this at our last work session. The board requested some additional time to take a look at the 5 proposals that we received, 4 of which received on the due date. 1 came in that Monday following. And I know that we do not have 2 board members this evening. And our interest was to try to stay on schedule as best we could. And what we had identified in the RFP, that the project time frame would be to begin starting tomorrow the 3rd. That was making an assumption there might be a resolution for this evening, and to be completed no later than Friday, November 22nd. And so I would entertain any thoughts, discussions, comments based on what you've gleaned from this to date, and then discuss what the path forward might be.
Or should we look at Jim to...
Do you want me to go through and just, for public's sake,
James,
just identify?
please, if you want to fill in that gap, please, please do that.
We did receive 5 RFPs. We initially thought we were going to receive 8. 3 of them decided to drop out at the last moment. We received RFPs from Barton Judas, Bergman, BME Associates, Costage Engineers, and McCord Landscape Architecture. If you want me to go through the...
Yeah, I think we do have an audience, so let's make sure we provide the audience with as much information and details as possible.
Very good. Barton Judas' RFP came in at $16,898. Bergman came in at $69,905. BME came in at $12,500. Costage came in at $33,216. And McCord Landscape Architecture came in at $9,400.
Okay. And as I indicated in the beginning, that McCord was the one that came in after what our deadline was, but we at least provided the information to the board for general information.
And I just want to also confirm that this project has already been budgeted for.
That is correct.
The master plan
In
creation.
the 2019
budget.
Correct.
Correct. So that being said, certainly we're always mindful of the dollars and cents. Mm-hmm. There's some RFPs that come through, some bids that come through where it's pretty easy to determine, pretty straightforward service to the town, and we often, more often than not, will go with the lowest bidder for those more routine type projects, routine type subcontracting. I think with respect to Shadow Pines Master Plan, this is the only chance the town of Penfield has to get it right. And I don't want to rush that. I want the full board to digest and discuss this fully. I had some concerns with each of the proposals that were presented. Some were more detailed, some were not detailed enough. I'm looking for a company that can come in creatively, efficiently, but also with the greatest scope of ideas, as I've mentioned to many throughout this process with Shadow Pines. In addition to having it being the only chance for us to get this right, this is a piece of property that I want to make sure benefits the greatest cross-section, the greatest number of residents of all abilities in our community. That being said, I am not ready to choose at this point in time from those that have submitted.
Okay.
I would like a discussion with the other board members. I do have a preference, but I think it's something we might not all agree initially. This is what's good about working together, because there's a couple I like. One I like more than the other, but I might be swayed, you know. We have a conversation about why each of us like what we like, then we come to a consensus. We don't have enough votes, I don't think, to pick one at this point. I think it would be in line to wait for Rob and Andy to be here to
Okay.
have a full board and discussion.
All right. I think it's also important to put into the record, because this is professional services.
Yes.
The board is not obligated to take the lowest bid.
Exactly.
As part of that, I think it's the board's prerogative to take a look at who has the best proposal and what's going to benefit the community as a whole. While certainly dollars and cents are a factor with professional services, that is not the only factor.
Exactly.
Okay. So it sounds like there is a potential...
I'll move to table this pending further discussion.
Okay, so been moved by Paula,
Second.
seconded by Linda. The next opportunity, because the work session for next week is canceled due to the Jewish holiday, and so the next work session will not be until October 23rd, unless the board elects to call a special meeting. I would ask Mr. Costello if he would reach out to all 5 of these, even though we do have some in the audience. I would ask Mr. Costello if you'd reach out to all 5 of the entities to let them know that the matter was tabled this evening, and that recognizing that within our scope of work as we outlined, and indicating that we anticipated the work to be started by as early as the 3rd and completed by November 22nd, that we in fact make them aware that we will add a couple of weeks on the end and take it into December, in fairness to whomever is selected, to make sure that they have ample time to provide the appropriate
I'll do
plan.
that tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would just reiterate that this board has been, since the inception of the proposal to purchase Shadow Pines, this board has been certainly determined to engage the best people for the town. Since Supervisor LaFountain, it was his idea initially to pursue the purchase of Shadow Pines. I think that we still have the energy to continue what you've done through your leadership with respect to now what shall we do with the property. I have said to many people, there is no rush. There's no rush to get it right. So I thank you for allowing us some more time.
All right. All right, so there's a motion on the table. I'll ask, is there any further discussion on this matter? Seeing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Matter is tabled and will be added to the October 23rd work session. If in fact the board elects to schedule something earlier than that, we'll make sure we notify all of the organizations so that in the event they can either watch on Penfield TV or actually attend the meeting. Okay, seeing no other business to come before the board, the October 2nd special work session of the town board will stand adjourned at 6:11 p.m. Anyone that is interested in sticking around, we do have our budget hearing this evening that will begin at 7 o'clock.